Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 196, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest today, Wei Gan, the co-founder and CTO of Ribbon. Wei, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Really excited to be here.
Yeah, glad you're here. And, I got, today is Veterans Day, and I was recalled for Desert Storm a number of years ago, and all my neighbors tied ribbons around the tree. So ribbon ties into your name. Let's tie ribbons around the trees.
Happy Veterans Day to you, Mark, and to all the folks at JPAR who've served. And thank you all for your service. I grew up in Singapore, served in the military there for 2 years as well, so a different type of Veterans Day. But I spent the last 15 years of my life in the U.S. Very, very grateful to be here, and Veterans Day is a great day to celebrate all yourself and all the great folks who've served.
Yeah, well, thank you for your service as well. But even though it was, it's just serving is such a great thing. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got here, and then we'll get into what Ribbon is all about and how it helps the modern agent and the modern consumer.
Absolutely. So the way I got here, so I grew up in Singapore. You came to the U.S. for college, decided to stay and joined the technology industry, right? And so as part of an advertising technology company, really built out their mobile advertising. So I built you shop on Nordstrom and the pair of shoes that follows you around, right? That was what I built about a decade ago. And then I joined Twitter via acquisition of that advertising technology company. And so I was Twitter on the ad side and the revenue side for about a couple years, and then moved to New York, and then met my co-founder, Shaibal Shah. And then we quickly aligned on this mission to make homeownership achievable, which was really what Ribbon is truly built around. And over the last 4 years, we've been building Ribbon out from just one market, right? Started in Charlotte in North Carolina, right, to now in 6 states, right, expanding very quickly across the rest of the U.S. And really with the core mission to make homeownership achievable, and our very unique approach to partner with agents, lenders in the real estate ecosystem, right, to empower their clients to win the home that they love.
Yeah. So the problem that Ribbon solves in the marketplace is it makes home ownership achievable for everybody. And tell us a little bit about how it works.
Absolutely. So the way that folks use Ribbon, right? And so Ribbon primarily partners with agents. You go to ribbonhome.com and your agent, you can sign up. The core use cases that we do there are 2 of them, right? The first one is that we help a family who needs a mortgage to buy a home, and that's 99% of all families, right? We help them upgrade their offer to a cash offer, right? And why is that really important? Because the reality is you're in this environment, right? Whether you're in Texas, whether you're in any other state around the US, it's a very competitive home buying environment, and cash is at the top of the pile of offers. And so what sellers are looking for is certainty, right? And cash provides that certainty. And so Ribbon allows the everyday family, whether you're using FHA loan, VA loan, or conventional, right, to be able to upgrade their offer to cash and win, right? And so that's really our core use case. And another one as well is for those existing homeowners who need to sell their home before they can unlock the equity to afford a mortgage on the new home, right? We help those families have the freedom to buy before they sell.
Mm-hmm. Has co-founding and starting an entrepreneurial venture like this been easy?
It's you probably know this yourself, Mark. It's never easy. These ideas, there's so much transformation that's gone on over the last decade in prop tech, right? In real estate technology, in real estate overall. And when we started this 4 years ago, at that point there was some iBuying going on and so on and so forth, right? But at that point, folks thought this idea was ridiculous, right? Frankly,
right.
And that's how a lot of these things start. They seem like seems like interesting. Yeah, I'll try it after. Tell me when you've already done 1,000 deals, and then I'll consider this. And so, we're very grateful for the early adopters who took a bet on us. Notably, our first ever customer was a realtor herself in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we knew we were onto something because home buyers, they usually, like first-time home buyers, they buy in the first home ever, right? Most families only buy a couple homes in their lives. But we knew that if we could get a realtor on board and she understood home buying inside out, mm-hmm. right? That if she used our product and she loved it, right? That we were onto something, right? And so, it's crazy to talk about one transaction, right? When now we do, so many just in a day or a span of hours. But, it all starts somewhere, and that kind of, sometimes it takes a while for ideas to really make sense and to kind of catch up, right? And I think the starting of the company is always really challenging because you always got to roll the ball uphill before it starts to roll downhill.
Yeah. Well, as you and I know, we've started companies, and it's the challenges and the obstacles. Have you always been resourceful and creative and what I call a solutionist, and say, okay, the way we plan this out and what actually happens when you start getting into business, are two different things. And how have you learned that skill to pivot and to change and to adapt?
No, yeah, absolutely. And there's two sides of it, right? Because you have to have a plan, right? You have to have a plan, but you know that the plan is always going to change because the world changes, and you just learn so much so quickly. And what's that Mike Tyson quote, right? Everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face in the boxing ring.
Yeah, until there was two quotes. Mike Tyson and General Eisenhower basically said something around, planning is worthless, but planning is invaluable in a battle till the first bullet is shot. Then you throw the plan out the door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so the plan, and I think for us, the thing that has been really kind of critical and centering is the mission, right? The mission helps you make decisions, right? The core values that we stick to help us make a lot of decisions, even some really tough decisions along the way. And to your point around resourcefulness, even, for us, as we came up with the idea, we had to adapt it a lot. And we knew that all we had was change, right? Because, we're not like a giant company back then. When we got started, we're just 7 people, right? A bit of seed funding, trying to figure out an idea. Certainly now we have more resources, but we try and bring that to the table every day. A good example, is earlier this year where we introduced a product called appraisal protection, right? Mm-hmm. Because our customers were making offers and they're still putting these appraisal contingencies, and the appraisal contingencies were why they were losing, right? It's why the agents were losing. It's why the home buyers were losing. And what we came up with then is a way that allowed them to waive their appraisal contingency without fear of under appraisals, right? Where Ribbon would cover the difference, right? And make sure that we can kind of help up front so that they can waive that appraisal confidently, and so they can win the home. And this was introduced only earlier this year, and we've obviously seen a lot of traction with it, but it we need to keep kind of adapting with the environment. And real estate has changed so much, right? The market's gotten so much hotter post-pandemic, and for us needing to kind of constantly adapt in the same way that, we're lucky to work with a lot of agents, right? A lot of these ideas come from them and they're adapting. And so for us, while we're resilient, right, we want to make sure that we are always listening, and so that we can quickly adapt, because great ideas really come from our customers, from the market.
Yeah, I love that about you and your leadership, is always be listening. I think we share that trait in common. Is one of my favorite books is a book by Susan Scott called Fierce Conversations. And the book isn't anything about talking, it's all about listening. And I see that in your leadership at Ribbon that flows throughout your organization. Well, is there anything else as we wrap up this episode? Obviously, they can head over to ribbon.com and check out the amazing services you have there. But anything else you'd like to share with our audience of real estate professionals today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of innovation happening in real estate, right? And I think for a lot of agents, right, whether you're an agent, whether you're a real estate professional in the space, trying to figure out who is my friend, right? Who is trying to displace me? Mm-hmm. I think it can be a hard thing to navigate at times. For Ribbon, we've found from day one, and core to our ethos, was that we believe in helping and empowering local real estate communities, right? Because there's agents, there's local loan officers, and these folks understand the markets really well, right? On top of that, they have the trust of local communities. And so from day one, we've always wanted to partner, and that has kind of been our greatest strength till today, right? Is that we are open to the ecosystem. We're not just open, we empower the ecosystem of agents, realtors, lenders, brokers on our platform. And so for us, it is really about empowering the local community, which is certainly home buyers and home sellers, but also agents. So, it's a pleasure to be on this. It's a pleasure to be on this with you. It's a pleasure to kind of get in front of your realtors and on Veterans Day as well. So, really appreciate you having us on board.
Yeah, no, I'm glad, and we share in common one of our values in our culture is we empower, and I love that about what you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us today. I can't wait to have you back on another episode. And until then, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears.